most people, when they come on a platform like YouTube, the biggest issue that they face is they don't make a decision on where they want to take it. Let me give you some clarity on this. Most people, when they get on YouTube, they'll start by saying, I want to become a YouTuber, get all that AdSense money, and that way everything will be perfect and it's just going to be the best thing that ever happens to me. But in fact, it's quite the opposite that's happening. So let me explain. If you're 30, 40, 50, 80 years old, it doesn't really matter what age you are, you're going to have an issue when it comes to that way of thinking. Because the truth is, AdSense is the kind of the tip of the iceberg. Yes, some people will make some money with AdSense, and some people will even make great money with AdSense. But here's the thing, when you actually want to do this, when you want to become a YouTuber or a content creator in some way, shape, or form, and you don't think of this from the beginning, you're going to run into some issues because most people will not make enough to make a living with AdSense. That's just the truth of it. And you'll see that most people don't make the minimum wage of no matter the country they're in. And that's because AdSense will typically pay people, especially when they're first starting out, $100 or $200 a month, maybe a bit more if you're lucky, but really, you're not really going to be able to make a living off it. Is it good to have AdSense money? Of course it is. I would love to be able to get that AdSense money, and that's one of my goals for this channel. But it's not the only goal, and it's not the direction where you want to be heading, and it's not the goal that you want to have the most important goal in your head. Because if you don't think of YouTube as a business, and that's where I want to go from here, or go to when I'm doing this video, is because if you don't think of yourself as a business, your YouTube channel as a business, you're going to struggle to make a living. And a lot of people, including myself, when we want to make a YouTube channel, it's to help others and make a great money while doing it. And the part of helping people is not going to be an issue with AdSense, but you're not going to be able to help people as much from just your YouTube videos. So maybe you want to sell a service, you want to sell some courses, you want to sell, it doesn't really matter what you sell, but especially services where you help people. Maybe it's going to be coaching one-on-one, maybe it's going to be looking at people's channel for an hour and looking at how it's going, or their channel, or something else, their business, or whatever you're an expert at or you're becoming better at. And that's the way that you're going to make money. But if you don't start that from the beginning, it's going to be very hard for you to make a living. Because think about it, if you want to become an influencer, which most people of our age don't really want to do that, but you're going to start a channel on something maybe that you enjoy, and you should start a channel with something that you enjoy. But if you're into some sort of thing that isn't actually, you're not going to monetize, maybe it's going to be, I don't know, making pranks, pranking people, making jokes. It's going to be very difficult, or filming cars. It's going to be very difficult for you to make an income doing that, or a good income doing that, because you're not helping people in a way that they can, or you can't monetize through courses, mentorships, or anything close to that. For example, if you're filming cars, it's going to be, maybe you're going to be able to, I don't know, tell people that you can buy your t-shirt on your channel or something. But if you don't have millions of followers and you don't have partnerships, it's going to be very difficult for you. And to have these kind of things, you will have to have millions of followers. But on the contrary, if you have something that's, maybe you're an expert at building a business, on one specific business, you're an expert at it. So you're going to make a YouTube channel, talk about that business model or that business, that space where you're in, and you're going to help people. You're going to be able to sell consulting to those people. And you could be selling that at a premium because you're an expert at making people money. That's just the way it is. And if you're investing, it's the same thing. You can become an expert at making people money. If you're if you like working out and you have a six pack and you're jacked, then you can help people on being better at their fitness and being being healthier, and that's also a great way to make money. Or people are lonely, especially these days, so you can help them make new friends, find somebody to hang out with, or to date. And if you're coming in from that sort of space where you're an expert at, or you're just trying to improve, because when I first started this channel, I wasn't an expert at YouTube. And really, I'm still not an expert. I'm just learning as I go. But I know a bit more than the people than when I first started out on my first video. And I think that's important because you have two ways of starting a channel. Either you're an expert at something and you know everything about that specific subject, which is great. You can start off with a head start, or you can start off with something that you would like to improve on and be better at. And in that case, you'll have to learn to do as much as possible of that specific skill and then improve over time. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this channel. When I first started, I wasn't an expert. Am I an expert now? No. Do I have the biggest following? No. Am I making the most money? No. But I am ahead of some people that haven't even started. And that's something that I want to do and to improve, and hopefully in a few months, or hopefully in a few months, maybe it'll take me a few years, but I'll be a lot better and I'll have even better skills than I have now. But my skills are already better than when I first started out. So I think that's something that you have to keep in mind, is think of yourself as a business. If you think of yourself as a business, you'll be able to improve. It's just like I saw this example online a while back, or uh, last week, and they took the example of Apple. And Apple is the brand, and you have to be the brand yourself. You have a personal brand. That's you. So Apple is the brand. They're selling iPhones, or I or MacBook Pros. In my case, I have an iPhone and a MacBook Pro. I'm actually filming on an iPhone. That's the product, and that could be your services that you're selling. Depending on your niche, it will be different products and services. So I have those, but they're also going to sell a pen, an iPen, or an iPad, or I don't know what they have now. They have all these different products, and I'm not a customer of those products. I don't need those products. And if you're going to kind of restrain the people that are going to want your product, it's actually a good thing. That's exactly what Apple is doing. When they were selling that iPen, I think it was called, I'm not sure if that still exists, but if it was, or if it does, I'm not the target of that audience. The target of that product is people that want to draw on their iPad. I don't even have an iPad. But that's not a problem, because they have their target audience for that. If they're selling an iPhone, it's going to be people that have a bit more money that they're able to spend to have something nice, to have a nice phone. Same goes for the computer. If you're just working at a day job, or if your computer is to work at your day job and you're not into editing videos or photo editing or something like that, you're just going to use a PC, and that's fine. But that's because you're not the target of the people that are going to buy a MacBook. So that's something that you have to keep in mind as well, is if you go too broad and your channel is too broad, then it's also going to be very difficult for you to niche down and take the product that you actually want to sell, and sell the actual product that you want to sell, because if it's for everybody, everybody as well is going to look at that product or that channel and think, is this really for me? But if you're targeting a specific audience and you have a specific video that speaks to that audience, they're going to go into that video and look at it as, oh, this video is exactly what I needed. This is exactly the thing that's working for me. This is exactly what I wanted. Some other people will just go, that's not for me, I don't like it, and just leave. But some other people will be really, really interesting or interested. And if you want to sell a product on the back of that video, once you kind of gain a following, then it's also going to be much easier for you to sell that product, because it's going to be a product that serves these people that are watching that video, that felt like this was the video for them, and now they're finding that product, and that product is exactly the product that they're trying to buy. And they'll just they'll actually ask you, can you help me, can you help with this? I i need help, I need you to help, and I'm ready to pay for it. You don't even have to ask for them to pay. And that's the great thing. And actually this happened last week I was on a call with someone, and that's exactly what happened. I was like, take my money. Yes, I want to spend that money. Yes, I want that, because you have a service that I'm willing to buy, and I want that service. So no matter, you know, not, I was going to say no matter the price, not really, but you get the idea. I just want that service and I'm ready to pay for it, even if it comes at a premium. And that's what I did. So if you're building an audience, that same thing can happen, because you're building a connection with people, and it comes down to being authentic as well, because that's what I'm trying to do. This is like the main goal of this channel, is to be as authentic as possible. You'll see me walking, you see me in here. This is me. There's hardly any cuts. There will be a few cuts at the beginning of this video, I believe, but that's it. So hopefully that helps. YouTube is also very good at showing you what videos you should watch, so make sure you watch that video. It's on that side. I learned that. It's on that side. So watch that video, and I'll see you in the next one.